Hello students of grade 6. I am teacher Deepa and I am going to take you through the novel Robinson Crusoe. We all have studied few chapters of Robinson Crusoe in the first term. But before going to the second term chapters of Robinson Crusoe, let's do a recap. Let's see quickly of what all we studied in the first chapter, in the first few chapters of Robinson Crusoe. So are you ready? Let's start. Do you remember this guy? Who is this guy? He is Daniel Defoe. He is the man who has actually written Robinson Crusoe. And this person here, the statue, is of a person called Alexander Selkirk, based on whose life story Robinson Crusoe was written. So Daniel Defoe changed the name of Alexander Selkirk to Robinson Crusoe in his novel and also changed some more parts of it just to make it more interesting to the readers. See what happened in the first chapter, Shipwrecked. We saw that Robinson Crusoe was always interested in sailing right from his childhood days. But then later he settled, he bought a farm in Brazil, but life had planned something else for him because his friends forced him to do business in West Africa and he agreed. He bought a small ship with a few men and started his journey towards West Africa. But on the way they faced huge storms and they were all panicking, they all feared inside their small ship, feared that their ship would break into pieces and they would all die. Because of this, what they did is they all of them shifted into a small boat, a rescue boat which was available along with the ship. But unfortunately, the boat also overturned due to a huge wave, and all the people of the boat died except Robinson Crusoe. Robinson Crusoe was, due to the waves and everything, he struggled and he landed on a nearby island. He struggled a lot to get to the shore, okay, to bring his raft onto the shore, and then he finally succeeded. When the sea was calm, okay, the first night he spent on a tree, okay, he climbed a tree and slept on it because he was not aware of the island. Who was it who was staying? Was it safe from the wild animals? So the next day when the sea was calm, he saw that the ship was nearby. So he went to the ship and bought some important things that he thought he would need for him to survive on this island. Now, the first thing that he did on the second chapter, we saw I make a house. The first thing that he did, he surveyed the island, means he saw how the island looks like, where there are people here, where there are wild animals there. Okay, and then he also saw the sea was still calm. So he made many trips to the ship, okay, which was nearby, almost the walking distance, and every time he would make a raft and bring some things like the weapon and ammunitions and the foodstuffs from the ship towards his island. To store all that on the island, he made a tent with the sails. Okay, the cloth sails means the white cloth that is used on the ship. So he made a temporary tent like thing to whatever things he was bringing from the ship, the cargo, the items that he was bringing from the ship, he kept all inside the tent. Okay, he made almost around 12 visits to the ship, and after that the storms began and the ship was nowhere seen. Then he thought that he has to now build a house, so he started looking around again. He considered few points while building a house. He considered that it has to be a safe place. There was drinking water available nearby, so that he doesn't have to walk on too much to fetch water for himself, and also a sea view, that he can see the sea again. And why was it important? So that he can see that all the ships are coming, if any other ship comes towards the island, and that can save him. Okay, and finally digging out all the places around, he found a place, okay, which on one side there was a hollow rock which was like a small cave, and on another side there was hill, so there was a protection kind of in that place. So second chapter, then later part of it describes of how he made the house. He had some wooden logs and he started building a fence and then a roof, and what all things that he made to build the house. Okay, he made two tents, one and outside and then one inside house, and there was no gate to the house. He used a ladder to go out, just for his safety. I hope things are clear till now. Now let's look at the third chapter. I prepare for a long stay. Students, if you have any doubts till then, I would recommend you to go through read the novel once again, okay, before going ahead. The basics, the idea, the imagination is very much required as and when we move ahead, okay. So just read the chapters. If you I think you are big enough. If there are any words that you still don't understand, please search it on the internet, google it for them, or download a dictionary or find the words in the dictionary for the meanings, and you would understand it better. If still you don't understand anything, I am always there. You can send me a message on WhatsApp asking questions. Now, in the third chapter, I prepare for a long stay. When he was moving, exploring the island more, he found many goats on the island. Okay, he killed the goat. Okay, and he also tamed one. Okay, as a pet. And he killed the goat because of course he was hungry. He had to survive on the island. For that he needs food. Okay, he climbed on the rock. He found out different ways on how it is easier to kill goats. So he climbed on the rocks when the goats were having eating grass, and he managed to kill goats. Then he spent more time improving his house, making using dried leaves to cover his roof, so that whenever it rains, he can be safe, his house can be safe. Then with the wood, the logs, he made furnitures like the table, chair, and so on, for just to make himself comfortable. And at the night time, he used to make after killing the goat, he saved the fat. So using that fat and a wick, he made a candle. In the third chapter, we also see that he finds some barley. Okay, barley grown. So the history behind it is, when he came in the island, he had little barley, and somewhere he had just in a small box, or in a small pouch, and he had emptied that pouch. The barley seeds were thrown in the land, and he used the pouch for something else, and he had completely forgotten about this incident. But later, after a few days, he found that the barley was grown. So he first thought that it was God's blessing on him, that he can see barley, okay, which he can use later to make bread. But later he remembered that he was the one who actually threw the seeds, and the barley came out of it. Okay, now moving to the fourth chapter, the last chapter for this presentation, the fourth chapter, A Year on an Island. So this went on. He kept on exploring islands. He kept on making his house better, building his house better. A year, almost a year, was passed. Okay. In the previous lessons, we have also seen that he made a calendar, like on a wood log piece. He used to mark every day, one day, just to keep a track of how many days he's spending on the island. That was his calendar. So in this chapter also, we see that he goes down exploring the island further, where he had parked his raft initially with the narrow streams, and he found that there was a lot of different fruits, and there was a lot of different tobacco plantations happening, and different other plantations which names he didn't know. He was very happy, and he ate a lot of fruits. Okay, and he also thought that he should take these fruits back to his original home, whereas he can save it when there is a lot of rains. So every day he tried making baskets, or he found out ways to carry the fruits and everything back his home, and it had definitely helped him. When it was raining, he couldn't move out of his first home, the original home, and he stayed and enjoyed the fruits. So he liked the other place, the second place, the valley, so much that he decided to build a country house there. In this picture you can see that this kind of house. He there also he made a fence, okay, and he made a comfortable house wherein he used to collect fruits, and he used to spend a lot of days there. Now, in the previous chapter, we saw that he found a lot of barley, and but then he didn't use. Okay, over a period of time, he thought this just a handful of barley was not enough for him to bake the bread, or if he finishes that barley, he will not have any more barley. So what he used to do, whatever barley he used to grow with the seeds, he used to grow them again, so that he gets more and more and more of barley. Okay, and what he also did is he also noted the seasons. Since he was there on an island, he understood, okay, now for the first 1 month it has been raining, so it is rainy season, then the next month it's summer, like this. He took a note of which month what kind of season it is. Okay, and he also made different baskets. He explored western side of the island, and he really liked that part of the island. He did not like where he had built his original, the first home, because there were more and more turtles. It was not that greenery, there was no much plantations and fruits. But in the western side of the island, there were a lot of he could see a lot of birds. He ate few of them, which were very delicious. Okay, and he also had pet a parrot. So along with the goat, he had parrots now. I hope till now it was clear. Now then, after this, the next chapter, which we also need to write in our practice book. The notes have already been sent. I hope you all have written. Okay, so now we will see the next chapter, explanation, my life at home. But this is another presentation, new presentation. Okay, please go through the novel, read the novel, and then we will discuss the next chapter. Thank you so much for listening, students.